Hi, my name is Julio Rivera. I'm an activist, journalist, adventurer, veteran, television presenter, and businessman. I've covered many of the major historical events going on around the world over the past several years, and after watching regime changes, conflict, and historic elections globally, I've come to the conclusion that the most underreported crisis in the world today can be defined in only one word: malware. That's why I've decided to dedicate my time to educating people everywhere and exposing the dangers that exist on the devices that we've become tethered to and depend on for so many reasons in our day-to-day life. Welcome to This Week in Malware. On This Week in Malware, we'll be covering OBZ Ransomware shares similarities with U2K and MME Ransomware. The TabSearch app haunts Apple users with its adware capabilities, and an illegitimate version of the rsEngineSvc process may mean you are infected with a Cryptominer. OBZ Ransomware is a file encrypting malware that is said to be very similar to U2K and MME Ransomware, possibly created by the same cybercriminals. Infections like OBZ Ransomware can be distributed via software bundles, so if you tend to download freeware or pirated apps distributed via torrent or cracked software sites, you may end up installing such threats. Like U2K and MME Ransomware, OBZ Ransomware appends the file names of affected files with the telltale .obz extension. In other words, a file that may have been initially titled image1.jpg after the encryption will look like image1.jpg.obz. Another trait that U2K, MME, and OBZ ransomware infections have in common is the fact that their ransom notes, typically named readme.txt, contain instructions on how to contact the hackers and pay a ransom through a dedicated website hosted on the Tor network. Victims would have to download and install the Tor browser to even attempt to contact the hackers, which is something we would never suggest for victims to do. The truth is that paying the hackers does not guarantee that you will ever receive a file decryptor. OBZ ransomware can hide its presence on a victim's device by masquerading as a seemingly innocent process named traffic light. This makes it harder for victims to ever determine that they're in danger from an oncoming ransomware infection. Also, it is important to note that the process name may vary. How do I deal with the OBZ ransomware infection? To protect yourself from the OBZ ransomware attack, you should practice safe web browsing habits like refraining from opening email attachments from unknown senders and downloading programs from unreliable sources. You should also have a reputable malware remediation tool installed on your computer. That way you could regularly scan for elements associated with this troublesome ransomware infection and other malware. Also, to reduce the potential damage of a future malware infection, please consider backing up your files on an external hard drive or cloud storage. For decades, Mac users have enjoyed relatively safe computing, free from the multitude of threats that the Windows PC users have faced for a long time. But in the past several years, an explosion in Mac malware has severely changed the landscape in regards to emerging threats. This has happened at the same time that we've seen an explosion in potentially unwanted programs or pups, adware, browser hijackers, and other online nuisances. The TabSearch app is one such undesirable program. It's an app that specifically targets Apple users' computers and devices and then monetizes its presence via an intrusive ad campaign. The app belongs to the ad load family, and its distribution tactics may not be transparent. Hence, it is common that users download and install this app without even realizing it. This usually happens because TabSearch can be offered through misleading ads that users encounter online. It may also come via adware and other potentially unwanted programs already installed on the system. Although the TabSearch app may not pose immediate danger to your device, it may lead to a diminished user experience. The multitude of ads can cover the content of the page you're on in the first place. It can also initiate redirects to potentially dangerous third-party domains. These third-party domains may expose you to online scams like phishing or tech support schemes. While visiting these sites, you may unknowingly download additional pups or even malware that may be inserted into fake software updates. TabSearch can also function as a browser hijacker as it takes over specific browser settings in order to promote sponsored addresses. A user that has TabSearch installed may discover that their usual homepage, new tab page, or default search engine have been changed to something totally unfamiliar. Browser hijackers can also block users from reversing their browser settings to the default settings. Ultimately, one of the main reasons you want to avoid pups in general is their ability to monitor your browsing activity. Data including your browsing history, search history, clicked URLs, or even IP addresses, geolocation, and ISP may be collected and sold to third parties. How do I remove adware, browser hijackers, and pups like TabSearch app from my computer? We strongly recommend removing adware, browser hijackers, and pups like the TabSearch app. You should scan for and remove unwanted software from your computer by using a reputable malware remediation tool. To prevent the installation of potentially unwanted programs in the future, you should practice good web surfing habits like avoiding questionable freeware sites, torrent pages, and other websites that may host unreliable software. If you are a Windows user, you may have noticed an unfamiliar rsEngineSvc process running in the background of your computer. This process is not related to the Windows OS and is not essential for normal operations of your device. The process is usually related to third-party applications. In most cases, it is associated with anti-malware software. rsEngineSvc is short for Reason Security Engine Service, or Reason Security Engine, or Reason Core Security Engine Service, and it is related to software products released by the Reason software company. So even though a rsEngineSvc process may be perfectly harmless, there is a chance that the presence of this process on your computer may signify danger. This is because malware creators use the legitimate process names to disguise malicious code. If the rsEngineSvc.exe file in your system is accompanied by strange system behavior, you should check its installation folder, size, and certificate. Additionally, should you notice that rsEngineSvc process is taking up exorbitant amounts of system resources in your task manager, this may be a sign that your computer may be infected with a Cryptominer threat. These threats leverage your device's hardware resources and use them to mine for a specific cryptocurrency. While this occurs, you may notice that your computer does not have sufficient resources available to continue operating normally, possibly leading to frequent slowdowns, crashes, or critical errors. How do I deal with an illegitimate rsEngineSvc process? You should regularly conduct security audits of all running processes to ensure that any malicious variants of the rsEngineSvc process are identified and removed using a reputable malware remediation tool. Doing this regularly can help reduce the chances of a successful attack from malware disguising itself as the legitimate rsEngineSvc process. Additionally, staying up to date with the latest security patches and software updates can help minimize the risk of compromise from malicious actors. By proactively monitoring and managing system processes, organizations and individuals can ensure that their systems remain secure and protected. You know, as I think about the dangers that exist online, not unlike the subjects we learned about in this video, I know I feel a lot better having an anti-malware program like Spy Hunter installed in my PC, providing me the protection I need against malware, and I think you should too. Spy Hunter 5's strongest features are found in its malware repair capabilities. Spy Hunter 5's remediation algorithms dive deep into your system to remove and address complex malware issues affecting PCs today. While many anti-malware products only flag and quarantine malware and ultimately fail to fully remediate the root problem, the Spy Hunter 5 remediation algorithm detects, quarantines, and programmatically repairs malware problems on your PC. Spy Hunter 5 is a powerful PC utility that repairs malware threats in many cases where other competing anti-malware and antivirus programs may fail. To detect and remove malware for free, go to enigmasoftware.com and download Spy Hunter today. Thanks for watching.